Welcome everybody to Rob's MetalWorks. Tonight we find ourselves here at the Rock Box to check out a stellar show, and it brings me great pleasure to welcome the man Chris Gustafson of San Francisco's Trauma. Welcome to our show, sir. Great to have you.
Thank you very much, man. Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Yeah. Right
so much to talk about, really. I want to start at the beginning because obviously, you know, Trauma was one of the first kind of metal bands in the early 80s from the San Francisco Bay Area. And, you know, people know about the band, obviously, because, you know, Cliff Burton. But, you know, there's been a lot happening with the band. And I kind of want to start there at that time, and then we'll progress to your new record, okay?
Sounds great.
You guys formed in 81.
Right.
And then kind of broke up in 84 or 85? 85.
Yeah.
And, of course, you know, that was a little bit after Cliff had left.
Correct.
Why did the band decide to disband in 85?
Well, basically what happened was we put that Scratch and Scream album out.
Yep.
And we were playing a lot of local gigs around town and, you know, up and down the coast and everything like that. But everybody kind of started doing other side projects, you know. And at that time, we really just didn't have any tour support to go out on tour. And I don't know, everybody just kind of got disenchanted with the idea of keeping it going.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It seems to me a little bit ironic because things were really kicking off in the Bay at that time.
Yeah, I mean, the label we were signed to, which was Shrapnel Records, you know, was a brand new label. You know, Mike Varney was the guy that signed us to the label and everything like that. But there just wasn't any tour support. You know, and to do any type of tour costs a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so that's kind of why it just, you know, I don't know why. To tell you the truth, I know
Sure.
I know they tried to keep it going. I was like the first guy to leave. I mean, I ended up moving down to Los Angeles, and shortly after that, I think they did get another drummer for a while to try to keep it going, but it just didn't work.
Yeah.
So I think it ended up just ending.
Do you have any regrets about that at that time? I mean, now looking back.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you know, if we would have kept it going, who knows what could have happened?
Exactly.
You know? But it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, now the band reformed in 2013. Many years later, obviously.
Right.
Why did the band decide to reform?
Mike Varney did a re-release of the Scratch and Scream record in 2013, and he thought it was a good idea to put a band back together, just in case we got any, you know, festival opportunities or any kind of live opportunities,
yep.
Which we did, and that's what we did.
Yeah. What was the? Remember, at that time too. Your original vocalist was still part of the group during that reformation.
Yeah, Donny Hillier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What was kind of like the vision? What were you guys wanting to do?
Well, put it this way: the band was gone for so many years.
Yeah.
We kind of had to start from somewhere. So that's kind of what we did. It was more, to me, in my opinion, it was more of a hard rock kind of album.
Yep.
Not metal. And we only had one guitar player at the time, which Trauma was always a 2-guitar player band.
Right.
You know, but we did what we could at the time, and we got a lot of really good reviews off of it and everything. But after that album, it was kind of time to up the ante.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys got pretty busy right away. 2015, you released Rapture and Wrath.
Right.
And then kind of 3 years after that, the third record, and have kind of stayed pretty active since the reformation, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a lot of people in and out and in and out.
Right.
But the lineup that we have now is very solid, and, you know, we're trying to have fun.
Yeah, I know it was kind of untimely, and really, I can imagine how difficult it was when you know, Donny passed away. But
right.
Was there any thoughts at that time to, you know, of again calling it quits, or you just wanted to keep on going?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we did.
You two guys were the two original members.
Yeah, but our guitar player Steve Rebello, you know, who's a member, wrote some really, really stellar material.
Sure.
And we had it pretty much down, and I was literally at the recording studio getting ready to record my drum tracks, and I got the phone call that Donny might not make it through the night, and unfortunately that's what happened. And then we just kind of put the whole thing on ice for some months.
Yeah.
You know, wondering what we're going to do.
Did you have an opportunity to kind of end things with Donny or have a conversation with him?
No, because it was during COVID.
Oh, no.
So none of us could even go visit him. We weren't allowed.
Yeah. They weren't even letting people in the hospitals, right?
It was, it was only close family.
Yeah.
But I did receive some messages from him, which, you know, was about as good as it could get.
Right. So as you guys decided to move forward, you guys brought in Brian Allen into the fold. How did you guys recruit him? Was he somebody that you knew, and why do you feel he was a good fit for the band? I think he's great.
Well, we knew of him, but our producer Juan Urteaga, like I said, we were getting ready to record the music, and he goes, I may have a guy that might work.
Is he also from the Bay?
He actually lives up in Oregon.
Oh, wow.
You know, but he was in Vicious Rumors.
Okay.
You know, so we swapped some tapes and had Brian sing on some stuff, and he sent it back, and we were going, wow, it might work.
Yeah.
You know? And kind of what solidified that when it was going to work is when we actually did go in the studio, and we heard the playback of a couple tracks that he sang on, and we were just like, oh my God, this could be really good.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool because, you know, he kind of has like this power metal kind of voice, you know. So when I think about, you know, when I hear or read some of the press that I get from Chip, you know, they use the tag thrash, and I'm like, yeah, this is like power thrash metal, you know. It's like that's two different types of genres combined into what has kind of now become the Trauma sound.
Yeah. Well, on the latest record too, you know, Steve Rebello was a huge part of it.
Okay.
And we kind of wanted to see if we could go back to possibly the band's roots to a certain degree, and that's kind of what we tried for.
Yeah.
You know?
Awakening, and for all you people out there who have not yet seen it, go ahead and take a look at the cover work for Trauma's latest release called Awakening. It came out last September on the 9th. Be sure to look for it if you don't have it. Be sure to pick it up at all your favorite music outlets. I love this record, man, as I was telling you off camera. Great fucking record.
Right on.
Sounds amazing.
Well, since Steve's standing right here,
join us, Steve. Come on.
Yeah.
Steve Rebello. Did I say that right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. Talk a little bit, Steve, about your approach musically for Awakening. What were you trying to go for?
It was really a little bit twofold because, you know, like has been discussed, the songs were written with, you know, Donny in mind, and halfway through the process he passed away. So I had to switch gears a little bit because they're two different singers, and I approached my songwriting based on, you know, how melodic I want it to be. You know, with Donny singing, had just a beautiful melodic voice, high voice, and that's how I you know, wrote those songs. When Brian came on board, I got to, you know, revisit what I really love, which is heavy, you know, thrash.
I was just about to say that because this record is heavier.
Yeah. But those songs only got written after we acquired Brian.
Right.
So I think three of them.
What was it? His vocal style that allowed you to do that?
Yeah, just his versatility, because he can sing melodic, but he can also scream like Halford and growl like Chuck Billy, right? So you just had a lot of everything there, and it was just it was fun to write, and it's going to be fun to write the next record.
Right, and we're going to get there. How long did it take you guys to put this record together? I mean, you know, taking into consideration some of the difficulties you had to deal with.
Had to be a year.
Yeah, it took a couple of years.
Couple years.
You know, because the pandemic was in full swing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was extremely difficult to get together. Yeah. You know, it was a pain in the ass, you know, for everybody. It was really a good time to come up with material. Sure. Which, you know.
Yeah.
Did you guys, were you guys kind of like in the vicinity working together or trading files and stuff like that?
Well, we for the most part we couldn't. I mean, I think we were writing the majority of it like after the pandemic hit.
Oh, okay.
So nobody wanted to go into the studio together. Nobody wanted to everyone was kind of freaked out about it. And so we just we shared files. I wrote a lot, you know, in my own home studio and sent the tracks to Chris, and he'd throw some drums and get some ideas. And
I remember at that time too, like, you know, California's a long way from here, but I mean, I remember hearing in the news how strict it was in that area.
Well, yeah, and I want to touch on a lyric that Donny had written, and I don't know if you really remember this, but he wrote something very prophetic in the song End of Everything. His line goes, you know, infected, locked away from lovers, friends, and family, all alone to die.
Right, right. He also did the lyrics for Meat too, right?
It's so prophetic,
Yeah.
and that's how that ended. So sad, but anyway.
But that's cool that you included his lyrical content in the record.
Yeah, he's also sings on
Meat. He did Meat, didn't he?
He sings on Meat.
Yeah, some of his vocal lines are on there on the album.
Yeah.
Wow, see, I didn't know
Juan kept them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and blended them with Brian.
Yeah.
He mixed them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
His you know, his heart and soul is there, and his voice is there too.
Nice. So. Let's talk real quick about Juan. And I was telling you guys, I love how this record sounds. Juan Urteaga at Trident Studios. How did you guys hook up with him and decide on him to do the record?
Well, Juan did the As the World Dies album, you know, and Juan's a great guy to work with.
Yeah.
You know, he's got some great ideas. You know, you heard the records. You know,
he has a large repertoire too. He's done some great records in his history.
He's got a huge track record. Testament, Machine Head, a lot of different bands. The studio's located in a very convenient area. You know,
okay,
and it's really relaxed. You know, I heard from Juan. I'm trying to remember, man. I've known of him for many years. So we didn't really approach him until As the World Dies album came around.
Mm-hmm.
And he was totally interested in doing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's how we just kind of morphed into doing the new one as well.
Before we move on, guys, let's talk a little bit. You kind of alluded to some of the lyrical themes. Yeah. I've read some different things about the themes. Can you share a little bit about lyrically? What the term, kind of, I guess, the overall theme from Awakening, and then maybe more specific if you want.
Well, one of the things that happened during the process, you know, Donny was the lyricist, and a great lyricist. And what I would do is I would write the melodies for the vocals, for the lyrics, and then he would write the actual lyrics. And like I said, halfway through, we lost him. And it was a little too late. We had 4 or 5 songs on the table. It was a little late to start writing lyrics, and Brian wasn't there. And it was actually my wife, Rochelle, that stepped in to start write some of these very, very brutal lyrics.
Damn.
She wrote Burn. She wrote Death of the Angel is written first person Ted Bundy.
Wow.
And she wrote that.
All right.
And so she came in and really helped out. And we've been married 30 years, and I had no idea she could do it. But
kind of scary.
It was kind of scary.
She was like,
some of the stuff was
like,
brutal.
"You're not leaving me. Let me give you some lyrics." Wow.
So that really helped finish the record.
Did you guys give her credit on the record for that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I know.
Of course, man.
I might have overlooked that because I would have asked about that. I was like, "Who's this lady?"
Yeah.
But that's cool to know, man. That's she came in and
really stepped up and helped us finish those last songs.
Yeah, great record. And this record was released by MASSACRE Records officially and distributed by them. How did you guys get the deal with MASSACRE? Did that happen after the record was done, or was that kind of already in the works? Did you have a relationship with that label?
It actually came through our manager.
Yep.
He started contacting them, and everything worked out. So they offered us a deal, and we went for it, and here we are.
Here we are.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they released. I mean, they put forth a lot of effort too. I've seen that they've released the Awakening in many different formats too, vinyl and digipacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the quality of it is really good.
Yeah, it looks great. Great. I've seen a lot of different versions of the record out there. So that's cool, man. That's good because there's old schoolers like us who like the hard copy. Then there's people who just want different types of digital stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Were there any songs that you recorded that did not make the record, or did you use them all?
I had a couple that that we didn't finish. Because by the time we decided that, yes, we're going to continue this thing, we started to become under a time crunch.
Sure.
And so, we took what we got and we finished it and we moved on. But yeah, I left a couple on the table. I think they're pretty solid for the next record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I mentioned a little while ago, the record dropped last fall. How do you feel the reception's been from the metal community with regards to this record?
Yeah, I mean, so far, excuse me, the reviews and everything have been really good.
Yeah.
Seems like people really like it. I mean, it came out in September.
Yeah.
So hasn't, I guess you could say it's been out for a while now.
Yeah.
We have a new video coming out, I
Yep.
think, on the 10th.
Yeah.
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 And that's the song Meat.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
I think people will dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the videos. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. You guys are on the road, and it's so cool to be able to catch up with you early in this tour. It just started at the beginning of this month. How has this kind of run been going with Marty Friedman and Queensryche? Opening up the night every night.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah.
We've been having fun.
Yeah.
Great bands to be out with.
Oh, hell yeah.
A lot of fun. They're very accommodating. We've
Yeah.
shared gear. We did a barbecue last night,
Really?
and they're
Yeah.
just a really amazing, fun guys to be out with.
Does Marty's band eat meat?
Yeah,
Vegan.
I think they
Yeah. Well,
Because his band they're from Japan, right?
they're Japanese,
do.
and so yeah.
I saw a couple of them eating burgers
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
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 They're fun though, fun guys.
Yeah.
Last night, there's English going back and forth and Japanese. We're teaching each other words, and it's a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, they're a great bunch of people.
Yeah.
Chris was saying you guys kind of had a long travel day yesterday.
Oh yeah. We split it up into two. Made it to Lafayette for the barbecue,
Right.
and then to here, and there's a couple on the way. There's a couple long ones coming up.
Oh
I know the Queensryche dudes are cool to hang out with. I know
Yeah,
that.
really
Oh, yeah.
are. They're
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Todd La Torre, where are you at?
Well, he was gonna photobomb us here.
Yeah, I
I told
wish
him
he
to.
would've.
I told him to do it.
That's great, man. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a great group of bands to be on tour with. And our kind of people kind of coming up and recognizing the record and really the band, because I think people when they think of Trauma, oh, that's Cliff Burton's old band, but now it kind of seems like, oh, they have something really great to also recognize Trauma about, a great piece of work.
Well, and it's nice getting people to talk about the band,
Yeah.
using that. But
Yeah.
yes, this is a different band. It's a new
course.
band,
Right.
and we want to, pursue this thing and have our own thing out here.
sure. What do you guys foresee for the rest of this year? Do you guys want to do some more touring, or when this run ends in the middle of April, kind of take a little break and then get back on it?
Maybe a little break, but I'd love to get back to Europe.
Yeah.
I love playing in
We're
Europe.
trying to work on some stuff going over there in the fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Europe's a whole different world.
Right.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. I mean, I haven't toured the States in a long time, but
Neither
I've
have
been
I.
back and forth to Europe all the time.
Oh,
Right.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have released 2 videos already, and it was kind of weird because I was looking at the tracks and like, this is track 1, 2, and now 3 from the record.
Right.
These are the videos.
Yeah.
So the first video was Death of the Angel,
Yeah.
right? Or Walk Away. It was Walk Away.
Walk Away.
Walk Away.
Away.
And I love Walk Away because it's like the performance video. You get to see you guys throw down. I really dig that video. Obviously, you guys feel videos are still an important kind of medium to get the music and the message and the band across.
100%. Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta have great videos, great content. I mean, spins on YouTube mean a lot.
Yeah.
And so we gotta have that.
Right.
Do you guys enjoy doing them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, they're
It's
fun.
fun.
They're always fun to do.
Yeah.
And we had a
Yeah.
really good producer,
Mike Sloat.
Mike Sloat, on all
Yeah.
3 videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really good producer.
He's Bay Area guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really super cool guy.
And kind of works with the band a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the back end.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
'Cause I know nowadays people can do videos pretty economically.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has the tech to do it now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, on the Death of the Angel video, I wanted to create a little controversy. I think in order to get the numbers of spins that you need nowadays, you got to have something that people talk about. And
Yeah.
the first edit of the video was rejected.
Oh, wow.
It had images of Ted Bundy. It had images of the victims. It was relatively brutal. When I saw it for the first time, I was like, whoa, wow. But I wanted that, and I wanted that controversy because it would have equaled Spins. But it was rejected, and it's a tamer video.
Who rejected it? The label?
Label.
Oh, okay.
And so we released a little bit tamer version of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But the original
might end up leaking here at some point.
Do it. Yeah. You didn't hear that from us, though.
Yeah. This interview will be all over the world in a week.
It wasn't me.
I love on Netflix always watching like the killer case files of Bundy.
That was my whole point with that one, is there was a little bit of kickback on how brutal that song was and how brutal the video was. Right. It's like, well, the most popular thing on TV are documentaries about serial killers and Ted Bundy in particular, and to not take advantage of that is not good business. That was my thing.
Yeah.
But got to go with what other people say. I'm not
they say.
I'm not the chief. I'm just I'm the Indian.
As political and PC and cancel culture as our society has kind of become, I guess they just wanted to play it safe, at least on this first go around.
It's just it's okay.
Tell us a little bit about the Meat video, which is going to drop tomorrow on March the 10th.
I think there's a little bit of controversy with that one too. There's some lines in it, about cattle cars. It's about how people are treated like meat, like cattle.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of the the Holocaust images. There's a little bit of that in there, and that created a little bit of controversy as well.
Basically, you'll have to wait to see it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So you'll have to see it.
It'll drop before this interview comes out. So that's cool, man. I look forward to seeing it, and I hope that things continue to progress for the band. I'll definitely be in touch and keeping up to date on what's happening with Trauma. I always have to ask because I know how musicians are. They drop a record and then a month later they're already talking about new shit because they're tired of the record that just came out because they've been playing it and jamming it for a year.
This one's still fresh.
Yeah. So you said that you did have some of these old tracks the tracks that didn't make it to Awakening, keepers for the next record.
Absolutely. Yeah, and continuing to write all the time.
Yeah. And I believe this record deserves all the support you can give it. But thinking into the future, I know how you have to strategically plan. When would you like a new record out? When can fans maybe expect something new from Trauma?
I mean, I'd like to, carry this one out through the summer and possibly in the next year. I mean, I think records need to live. They need to breathe a little bit.
There's really no point of putting one out like every 6 months.
Yeah, like they used to.
I mean, like in the old days.
In the old days.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Or even now, how some young bands are saying, "No, we're going to release 3 or 4 an EP or singles and stuff like that."
And we've talked about that as well.
Yeah.
It's just release 3 singles in the videos. And that's the other thing with this record, we can always release more videos.
Sure.
We could do a video for every song. Like you said, the production cost nowadays on videos is to the point where we could do lyric videos and it's doable.
For sure.
So
for sure.
After Meat, we might, start working on another video.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah, it's good, man. Stay busy, guys. Stay busy.
Yeah, we are.
As we get near the end of the interview, just a couple of other things. Mm-hmm. And I have to ask because people will say, why didn't you ask? But Chris, as an original member, and you too, buddy, when you think about, a lot of, like we mentioned earlier, Cliff Burton, and, I'm sure sometimes, you hear things about Cliff. The only thing I want to ask you is, like, when you think back at that time when Cliff was in the band, or maybe shortly thereafter he left the band, kind of what do you think about? What are your kind of memories of that time of Cliff or anything like that? Do you think about that or?
Well, I mean, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
I don't really stew on it too much.
Yeah.
It was a different time. It was the early 80s. You know what I mean? A lot of bands were trying to find their legs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of competition going on. There was a crop load of clubs everywhere that you could play 7 nights a week. Band after band after band.
For sure.
Really good musicians, really good bands. It was kind of happening like in every major city around the world, at one time. And, now it's kind of, there's pockets.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, but it was so long ago, man.
I remember Gary Holt from Exodus saying, "Oh, those dudes knew that Cliff was going to be poached by Metallica." Is that true? Did you guys know he was going to bail?
To my recollection, no.
Oh, okay.
You know, no. He wasn't looking for.
Don't leave.
He wasn't really looking to join another band.
Right. Right.
You know, he got approached
Sure.
to do it.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
so.
All right,
what that
gentlemen.
was.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for this chat today. My, look who's here.
The new Trauma record.
Awakening. Right on.
These guys are killing it every single night.
Todd, don't leave. I want to chat with you. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time and opportunity to speak with us today.
Yeah.
Any last words? Anything I missed? Anything you want to share with the people out there around the world who will watch this interview? Anything?
Okay.
Nah, just enjoy the music, you know, and if you're someplace,
Buy the record, buy the
if
merch.
you're someplace where you can come see us play live, I promise you, you're
Great
gonna get
time.
a show. I mean, no doubt. We're all gonna put on a great show for you.
Exactly.
Anything, Chris? Any thank yous? Any shout outs you want to give to people? Any love?
Thanks to all the people that are in support of Trauma, and we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully there'll be more coming down the pipe soon.
Right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Great
thanks,
chatting
man.
with you. And for all you people out there who need to get your information on the band, all you got to do is go to traumametal.com. And I also want to give a big shout out to my man Chip for hooking me up with the band today. You saw them only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.
Just me.